This is the one I want to talk about, and I'm going to zoom in on this one. This is what kinds of voiceover do you do? Hey guys, it's DJ. Welcome back to the channel. If it's your first time here, welcome. In this video, we're going to look at the State of Voiceover 2024 NAVA statistics. You can see this 2024 statistics. The survey was published January 26, 2024, and then closed out on the 15th of February. In total, almost 1,800 voice actors responded. I am putting out a video, or if I haven't put it out yet, you'll see it here in the next couple days, that talks about why, if you're trying to get into voiceover in 2025, you should not be looking at any of these, this list over here, as a primary source of revenue. It's commercials, 100%, full stop. You do commercials. Commercials are what subsidizes your ability to do all of these things. Now, if you're not somebody who's interested in doing commercials, which I don't understand, like the little amount of work you do for such a large check, it's so enticing. But perhaps you're just one of those people, you don't feel like you're good in commercials or you have zero interest. There's always video game work. And you can find it not only on pay-to-play sites in Fiverr, but you can find it on Twitter or X. You can find it on social media. You can find it on Reddit. There's always some new characters or like NPCs that need voices added. The only problem is it doesn't really pay a lot of money. It's more like volume-based as opposed to home runs, which commercial tends to be. E-learning, man, I know so many voice actors whose career is built on commercials and e-learning. Commercials are like that once a month, twice a month home run where you get this fat check. And e-learning is almost like that steady stream of income. One of the lower paying genres, but it's voluminous. And so there's no end in sight to how much e-learning work you can do, even with AI kind of taking away a lot of the work from some of these companies. I personally have had a client say they don't need me anymore because they replaced my voice with AI. And I was hurt. I was really hurt, but I understand. It's just the way everything is. So if you're going into e-learning, there's a certain read style. These days, it's either going to be really stodgy and educational, or it's going to be conversational and casual. This doesn't include like medical narration, which is down here. That's another one we'll talk about in just a second. Non-broadcast explainer videos. These are corporate videos. It includes everything that relates to a business that isn't broadcast. Broadcast means there's a paid campaign behind it, whether it's on TV, radio, streaming radio, OTT like Apple TV, YouTube Premium, Hulu, etc., or if it's on cable TV, those are called broadcast jobs. Non-broadcast means it's not paid. There's no marketing money behind it. And that includes everything when you go to a website and you see a video like the About Us video. In 1906, Procter & Gamble, if there's a new initiative that the company's putting out about, for example, sustainability, they'll put out an explainer video. That's also one of these. There are employees that need to be onboarded or off-boarded. Those are considered explainer videos. It's actually called corporate narration, but that would be an internal corporate video. It includes things like DEI initiative videos. It includes there's so many, man. Like these are never going to be home runs, but they pay consistently, like $250 to maybe even $700 to $800 per video. And there's no shortage of them. If you're not into e-learning, like I'm just not into e-learning, but I'm really big into the non-broadcast explainers. So I exchanged these two. If you can do both, great. I did it for a while. I just find this to be a bit boring, so I don't do it. But don't let me tell you what to do. Animation. I put animation like low on, for if you're a new voice actor. I put animation. I wouldn't pay so much attention to how much volume there is, only because animation requires like comedic chops and acting chops. And if you're a new voice actor, it's going to be really hard to get some good paying animation work. That's not to say you can't find something on like Fiverr or Upwork or voice123voices.com, but like if you're talking about like Netflix level or these types of things, I don't know, man. Like you got to put in some work. So I wouldn't recommend going there first. On the other hand, I'm gonna come back to audiobooks in a second. Dubbing. If you're a big anime head, dubbing is always something that is being done. It doesn't pay well. Last I checked, some of the lowest rates in the industry for the amount of work you have to do and the vocal strain that goes behind it. But I mean, it's fun, especially if you love the show and you want to be a character in the show and add that to your resume. It's really, really fun. And, you know, it's nice to be able to be a main character in some movie that you normally wouldn't be cast in if it was in English, if that's your primary language. But if you're just doing the dub for the English character and you end up booking that main character role, well, then now you can say you booked a main character. So that's really cool. AI has eaten away at some of the dubbing. There's technology that allows somebody to take your voice and then make it sound like or make you speak a different language. That's a thing. So I do not recommend saying, you know what, that's my primary source of revenue. I don't recommend it. Back to audiobooks. This one here, man, it takes a special kind of person to do audiobooks. Because on the one hand, you are an actor. If you're reading any type of fiction, nonfiction is closer to like non-broadcast explainer or even e-learning. But if you're in any kind of fiction, especially fantasy, like you have to be an actor. So first and foremost, hats off to audiobook narrators that do fantasy. You guys have some really good acting skills. They have to keep track of multiple characters who have their own voices and personalities. That's crazy in itself. But in my opinion, like the amount of work that goes behind that and the hours it takes you to record and proof, if you're proofing everything yourself and editing, and oh God, it makes me want to throw up. That's a lot of time to put in for not a good hourly rate. If you just break down how much you would earn per hour for audiobooks versus something like a non-broadcast explainer or commercials, it's incomparable. You can't compare, man. And like I said, it takes a special type of person. You have to love that genre of voiceover to get a lot of joy out of it. Because I just can't do it. Phone systems, there's always a company that needs, like, if you want to speak to customer service, press 1. If you want to do that, that's IVR. I don't know how that's dealing with AI. I'm just not familiar with it. Audio drama is something that's actually growing, I believe. Audio drama is like the podcast dramas, which is similar to audiobooks, but it's like a series, like the old radio shows where you used to have like the radio dramas. And I think it's making a comeback now. I don't have enough knowledge to give much information about it, but that is pretty cool to see there. Podcasts, everybody needs a podcast intro and outro. Everybody needs the breaks and the intermissions and say, you're listening to DJ Dykes' podcast. If you enjoy this, make sure you subscribe. Promo. This is TV promo. Okay, not to be confused with Sizzler videos for corporate narration. This is your traditional promo. So if you're watching, something on the CW and it's like, tomorrow, they trained her, they rescued her, but now they betrayed her. Tune in tomorrow, at 8/7 Central or something like that. That's promo, right? You probably won't get these opportunities unless you're with an agent and more specifically a manager. You're not gonna really see those on Fiverr. You're not gonna see them on voices.com or any other pay-to-plays very often. It's a unicorn if it shows up. Medical is a branch off of e-learning. It's hard. You have to have a very good working mouth and tongue to get through this. I used to be a medic in the military, and I actually was studying to go to nursing school, so I had to take A&P 1 and 2, and there's a lot of shit that's hard to pronounce. And that's what medical narration is. It's like you have to be able to pronounce all that stuff. People who do medical narration, you guys are a different beast. Documentary narration. If you're not familiar with documentary narration, this is David Attenborough, any type of nature show, history show, Michael Jordan documentary. All of these things are narrations. Matter of fact, I actually did a narration for the NBA in the winter of last year. Documentary narrations aren't high paying jobs, but they are fun. They're really fun. It's all storytelling. And I love it. I love these. Probably one of my favorite genres. Political ads, with the recent election that happened with Donald Trump and Kamala Harris, the political season was crazy. My God. This is one of those things, it's seasonal. And when it happens, it's a great time to make a lot of money. But it is seasonal. And so it's not something you say, I'm gonna live strictly off political ads, because there isn't an election every day. So it's feast or famine. And so you wanna make sure that you've trained for these and that you have a demo and that you get in a place where you can receive the auditions for them. Because if you are not with an agent or a production house that does political, or have a manager that can give you the opportunities, you're gonna miss out on a lot of these. Live announce, ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the national anthem. Like that's live announcer. Radio imaging, you're listening to 103.5 The Beat. Like that's radio imaging. In-show narration, this is similar to documentary narration. I'm the in-show narrator for the NBA's NBA on Fire. So you have segments, clips of things happening, and you're the voice in between connecting them in the story. You're just the glue that holds the different clips together. Also a very fun genre. Trailers in a world. the old Don LaFontaine style is no longer what's in right now. Trailers have a specific read. I also have trained in trailer and received trailer opportunities. It's one of those things that it's such a small niche, man. People say it's dying. I don't think it's dying. I think it's definitely contracted severely. Remember back when we were kids, like the old Disney movies, like when Mark Elliott would do the narration for like the Disney films, and you would get it on VHS, and like they'd give you the whole story for like 2 minutes. Fievel goes west. Yeah, that's not the case anymore. Now, trailers is literally just the title and the tag. It's just literally Beetlejuice, rated PG-13, in theaters November 26th. Like, it's literally something like that. That's it. Fan dubs, you know what it is. If you don't know what this is, it's not relevant to you. Audio description, that's when you have the movies. Like if you go to Netflix and you turn on a movie or Apple TV and you'll see like English with audio description, you'll have like obviously the characters talking, but then you'll hear another voice that says, open to a wide shot of a rolling green field. Calming music plays in the background. Show car coming from the bottom left going to the top. Like it explains everything happening on the screen. That's ADR. So as you can see, guys, now you understand why I'm saying that commercials is where every voice actor should be. And after you've built this foundation, trust me, it connects directly to each one of these, like organically. But it's really, really hard to go from here up to commercials because it's a different read. Like commercial, you have the conversational read. That's like, you know, at T-Mobile, we give you one free phone every year. Every time you sign up, you get one for free. Like that's conversational. Then you have something like real, like when my wife and I were looking at buying a house, we didn't really know what we were doing. So we contacted Sylvia. She's with Zillow, and she gave us a lot of information about where to go get a loan, how to get the best rates, and basically how to make the best choice for our future. Like that's the real read. You can hear the difference between, hey guys, come to T-Mobile, and hey guys, come to T-Mobile. There's this difference. You also have like your warm read, you're like, Cal Optima Health will be here by your side every step of the way. That's more of like your warm, authoritative read. Coming today, get 2 subs for the price of 1, only at Jimmy John's. You know, that's more of like in your face, maybe urban, kind of like announcery. Then you have something like the kind of luxury, sexy read, which is very subdued, very like pulled back and not projected at all. So something like over 1 billion rich colors and infinite contrast for a truly stunning picture. Like something like that, it would be more of like the sexy luxury read. Think about how many different reads that is. Each one of those requires a different skill, a different state of mind, a different act, because it is acting, right? And if you can do all of those reads well, then moving into video games becomes really easy. Video games is very dramatic. It is raw acting. You just have to be a character. And commercials primes you for that. E-learning really taps into that either authoritative or the conversational read. Or maybe you want to, get a mix of the two and get the real read where you're trying to share information. If you're looking at buying a home, it can be really hard, especially when you're in your late 30s and you don't have any money saved up. So in this lesson, we're going to talk about the different ways that a 30-year-old can get a loan from the bank. And then, even on broadcast explainers, this is essentially a long commercial. Okay, you see where I'm going with this, right? You got to go commercials first, man. I see most voice actors who have trouble in workshops are usually going from this trying to go up to commercials versus people who go from commercials and going into these, they tend to have less trouble. And this is just based on my own observations. I don't have any data to support that, but I've observed it directly.